Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. New exciting video today because we need to do an underfloor heating system in this house. So you might recognize this house. We have built this house about a year ago. We did the insulation, in between the rafters, as you can see, OSB and so on. There is more insulation to be done. There's more things to be done on the walls, but on a later stage. So now we are ready to do the underfloor heating, water underfloor heating everywhere in the house. So I will explain to you a few things, then I will leave the camera to obviously take video of us, and I will explain through the video where I think is necessary to say something. We don't know what heat source the customer will choose, so we don't know if it's going to be gas, we don't know if it's going to be electric, so we want to make sure that we do the system to obviously be working even if he gets gas, even if he gets an electric boiler, let's say so. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what we have. I'm going to explain to you where we're going to start and what we're going to do. Okay, so this is the inside of the house. If you obviously following the channel, you probably saw this house before. Now our finish level will have to be in line with this, so that should be about 20 centimeters. Now we do have some differences in level, so there is about 21. We have, I don't know, 17 and a half, 18 there, so we have to kind of find a way to do the insulation and the screed and make sure the screed is not too big. The sand and cement screed is not too big because it won't warm up. If it's too thin, it might crack. So plan was to have 13 centimeters. So plan was to have downproof membrane, yeah, coming up on the walls, 13 centimeters of XPS, this stuff here, yeah, so 13 centimeters of that, and then another plastic foil over with the lines that you follow with the pipe, and then pipe and screed on top of that, sand and cement screed. And the manifold will be located in the middle of the house on that wall there, which is going to be built out to accommodate other pipes and cables. So we might have to find a way to do this to work now, because that's bigger level than this level. So obviously we have 21 centimeters, 18 centimeters. So it might work out that in here we're only going to have 10 centimeters of XPS. So from this wall going that way, we're going to have 10 centimeters, and this room and that room is going to be 13 centimeters. We already obviously put the lasers on and try to find out the best way that we can do. Foundation, obviously it runs like this, about 4.5, 5 centimeters from that corner to this corner. So it's a common problem, to be fair, is a common problem where the foundations are not super straight or not even close enough. So it's something delicate that you have to kind of figure out how you're going to do it. You don't want too much screed, you don't want too less screed, and you don't want your pipes to be like going like this, because they might get damaged in time. I think we find a solution, because is here and here, this is going to have a slightly different level. So we're going to have a pipe going in and a pipe going out, so that we'll have to worry about. There's a kitchen, so we're not going to have pipes on that walls, so about 50 centimeters from these three walls there won't be any pipes, so that gives us just one circuit. So there's two pipes. There's a bedroom which is not very big, so we're probably going to have another circuit in here. So we have one pipe going in and one pipe going out, so there's two pipes and two pipes where we have to be worry about a difference in the level. Apart from that, there's all going to be the same level. So I think we are pretty lucky because it's happened just in these two rooms. So there's another option, if you have time, obviously, will be to kind of like level up this room and that room with the rest. So that's mean to put some screed or some self-leveling in here to bring it the same level, and then do just 10 centimeters of XPS insulation. But in my opinion, and obviously customer opinion, is better to have an extra 3 centimeters of insulation instead of screed. Plus the screed takes time to dry. We don't have that drying time because next week, a week from now, we're gonna have the guys to come and do the screed. They booked, so we have a week to get everything sorted. So doing that's not an option in this case. Okay, so as you can see here, we did lay the damp-proof membrane. I did set this earlier. First step that we're gonna do, we're just gonna lay some damp-proof membrane all over the floor, and we're gonna take this membrane up on the wall about 10-15 centimeters. Okay, so next step will be to start the installation of the XPS insulation. As you can see here, this is first layer of 5 centimeters insulation, and we are not doing anything there because that's gonna be a shower. We're gonna have a walk-in shower, and we're just gonna leave this open, and we are going to make this shower platform or shower tray when we're gonna have a finished floor. Okay, so let me show you what DPM are we using. So what damp-proof membrane we're using. This is a very nice antique damp-proof membrane, and I think it's a very good quality. So as I said earlier, we're just gonna use it everywhere, and we're gonna lift it on the wall, and after that we're gonna do the insulation. Okay, so the insulation that we'll have to use, it has to be very rigid, and it has to be a good quality insulation. So you want to use something that is rigid and something that is very good, because you don't want your heat to be lost through the actual insulation into the concrete slab. Okay, so let me show you the layers. So we have 5 centimeters on the bottom, we have 3 centimeters in the middle and 5 centimeters on the top. We want it to have the 5 centimeter slab on top because we want our clips to be fixed into the 5 centimeter slab, not into the 3 centimeter slab. This is where the shower will be. We just created like a frame because we want to keep that space empty. So we want to make the shower tray after we have the final level in the floor. It will be a walk-in shower, so we want to make sure that is in the same level with the screed. So we created this little frame. We're just gonna run the pipes. We're gonna do the screed up to that piece of wood, and then we're gonna remove it, and we're just gonna create the shower tray to be in the same level with the floor. Okay, so the boys will finish the insulation, and I'm just gonna start installing the manifold. This room will be the utility room, and it will be cabinets. It will be, you're gonna have a dishwasher, washing machine, and it's gonna be like a ordinary utility room. So what we want is we want this manifold to be located inside the cabinet. So after we figure out what kind of cabinets we're gonna have, obviously we discussed this with the owner. We place the manifold to be exactly inside the cabinet. So we don't want the manifold to be interfering with the bottom of the cabinet or with the top of the cabinet. Bear in mind there will be sand and cement screed on top of the pipes and so on. So we want easy access for this manifold, even if most of the time the underfloor heating doesn't require too much maintenance, but it's nice and easy to have it, so it's all accessible, the pump and everything that you might want to service, or parts that you might want to replace in future. So this is what we gonna do now. We're just gonna install the manifold, and we're gonna prepare everything for laying the pipes. It is very important to leave an expansion gap all around the perimeters. So in order to do that, we're just gonna use this foam tape that is designed to do that. Is about 10 millimeters thick, and we're just gonna staple this all around the perimeter. So what that does, once that you have your concrete, your sand and cement or your concrete
poured down, because some people choose to use concrete instead of sand and cement. It will make sure that you're gonna have a gap around the perimeter so the concrete can move or sand and cement can move. And I'm gonna take you around and show you how this tape look once it is installed. And like I said, we just use a couple of staples and we staple this in place. You see, so it's very nice and tight. Now we're ready to install the last foil and start laying the pipes. Okay, so one more step before laying the pipe. So what I have to do now is I have to lay this foil that's gonna help me obviously laying the pipe. So this foil is an aluminum foil that's gonna help us. Obviously, it's gonna help the heat. The heat will be reflected from this foil up into the screed, and also this foil has lines every 5 centimeters on it, so it's going to be very easy for us to go in a nice straight line with the pipes. Otherwise, obviously, if you don't have these lines and you're just using a normal foil or a normal plastic foil, you're just gonna have to make sure that you go in nice and straight with the pipes. This way will be very easy, because whatever you're gonna choose to lay your pipes, even if you have, let's say, but we're gonna talk about this a bit later. If you have an area with a bigger window or a bigger door, you might want to go with the pipes around 5 centimeters in between the pipes. Normal we go 10 centimeters, but sometimes you want to go 5 centimeters or 15 centimeters, depending of the area that you are obviously trying to hit. So this is very easy with this foil, because it does have lines every 5 centimeters.
Some of these aluminum tapes are better than others. I mean, this one I try to obviously make it as flat and as straight as possible. I did actually use some double-sided tape underneath and this aluminum tape on the joist, just to make it, to be nice and flat. It's not perfect, but this is okay. This will do. Some of these foils are better than others. Some of them are easier to make them flat. This one is it gets a bit stretchy, so because of that it's easy to have this, these things, but in the end of the day is not a problem. It's good. All we need this for is to reflect the heat up and have some guidance lines to obviously know what to follow with the pipes to do a nice straight pattern. Okay, so this is the manifold. It comes as a kit with everything we need to do the underfloor heating. So you can see here, there's the inlet for the water, for the hot water that is coming from the boiler or from the heat source, and this one here is going back to the boiler or the heat source. So very simple system. You have the hot water coming into here, and then you have the water that is coming from the floor, from the inside of the floor, which is cool, and it gets here. So this is getting mixed here, and then you have this degrees here, 45, 50, and then you say you put it on 50, and then it mixes. So you have 70, let's say 70 degrees water coming from the boiler, and you have cold water from the system, and then that's getting mixed here, and it's gonna, so the water is gonna get sand back into the floor, let's say like 50 degrees, yeah, and the rest obviously will go back to the boiler. Now obviously if you have a heat pump, that might not be needed, because you can probably make your heat pump to give you, let's say, 50 degrees water all the time, so there's no need for any mixing valve to mix that. At the moment we don't know what kind of heating system they will be installed. The client, it hasn't made up his mind, so he bought this kit and we're gonna install it as is for now. What we obviously gonna do is we're gonna run all the pipe, we're gonna test it, we're gonna pressurize it with air, because we don't want to put water inside, as this might be left over the winter and we don't want that to freeze. We don't want to start emptying the water and make sure there's no water in the system and so on. So we're just going to put air in, test it, and we're going to leave the air in till we have the self level, the screed, the sand and cement screed over. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. We're gonna start with the pipes. We're gonna lay the pipe. We're gonna label the pipes because we don't want in few years time someone to come here and do something, and they don't know what pipe is doing what. So we're obviously gonna lay them, and we're gonna mark them, master bedroom, bathroom, etc. So I think that's a good idea to do that.
So let's start now with the installation of the pipes. Okay, so now I'm gonna start my first circuit. As I said before, there will be 8 circuits and they will be divided to zones, and one zone might have more than one circuit depending obviously the size of the room. Is it very important to have a plan in mind? Is it very important to plan this before? Maybe you buy this kit and the pipe from a company that does the plan, the surveying for you, and it's going to be easy because they can give you a plan that you can follow. Otherwise, it's very important to make a plan and make sure you're not going to overlay pipes, or you're not going to cut the pipe too short and so on. You should never cut the pipe till you get back. So you go with the flow and you back with the return. So then you can obviously cut the pipe, but not before, because you might end up being too short. In these images you can see we are going in a circle. I know in UK a lot of circuits going straight lines. In Europe they mainly go in circles, and I think this is way better than going in straight lines, and I will explain that in few minutes. As you can see, we're leaving about 20 centimeters in between the pipes at the moment. Once that we're gonna reach the middle, we're just gonna come back with the coil, and then we're gonna have just 10 centimeters in between the pipes. Okay, so because it was 3 of us and everything else was done apart from laying the pipe, it was easier one of them to actually place the pipe in the place, and I was going to, use the tacker gun and clip it down. This will go obviously a lot faster and a lot easier. At the moment, we wasn't very sure that we're gonna have enough clips, so we clipped the pipe a little bit longer than we should, just to make sure that we have enough clips. After that, obviously, we went and bought some more clips, and we did some more clips where it needed. So ideally, you want to have a clip every like 50 centimeter, 50, 60 centimeter, depending obviously how good they hold. Some places we had a bit more than that. The distance was a bit longer, but we came back and clip it after. So as you can see here, very important to not obviously over bend the pipe. You don't want to create a kink in the pipe. Okay, so let me show you why I said that we going with the pipe every 20 centimeters. And then when we get to the middle, we just turn the pipe around and we come back in between the pipes with another layer. So that's mean we're gonna have 10 centimeters in between the pipe, which I think is a way better way to do it instead of having straight lines. And I'm gonna explain that in a moment. Okay, so let me show you again laying the pipe in a circle. As you can see here is clearly, you can see circles. So the big difference between this and having just a straight run is the fact that the heat goes evenly everywhere. If you're gonna have just straight runs, by the end of the circuit you're gonna have less heat, because obviously the water might get cooler by then, and you will find out that that area it won't be that warm. But having it like this, it will be very nice and very uniform. The heat will be very uniform everywhere, and even if it might not be a huge difference between one and the other, I think this is a better way to install the pipes. As you can see here, we also did a bit inside the toilet, inside the bathroom. one important thing is when you're having obviously an underfloor heating is to control your temperature right. I know I said earlier, you know, if you want 50 degrees, if you want 45 degrees or 40 and so on. I think everything above 40 degrees is a high temperature and it shouldn't be used. Ideally, you want to have a sensor, uh, you know, a temperature sensor inside your screed, and you don't want your screed to exceed 27 degrees if you have flooring and 29 degrees if you have tiles. So uh, once again, if you have your floor tiled, your floor should not exceed 29 degrees, and if you have flooring, any type of flooring, your temperature should not exceed 27 degrees. Otherwise, you know, your floor cover might get damaged, and obviously insurance might not pay for that. So it's very important to control your temperature. I would suggest start with a lower setting and then go higher as you want. Obviously, but just make sure you're not gonna exceed the temperature that is allowed for your floor covering. There might be cases where the screed is too thick, or you know there wasn't insulated very well, and then you losing a lot of heat, and you might have to obviously use a higher temperature water. But my suggestion will be to use a floor sensor and make sure that floor temperature doesn't go above what I said. um, Also, imagine if you're gonna set it to 50 degrees. You know, people might say yes, it goes to 50, but then it gets cooler in the screed. I think on the floor it won't be very far off of what you have obviously on the pipe. So if you have 45 degrees obviously on the floor, you're definitely gonna have lower temperature on the return, but you're gonna have pretty much 45 degree on the floor, especially if your screed is you know, just 4 or 5 centimeters. And also the ideally thickness will be between 4 and 6 centimeters over the pipes. You don't want it too low, you don't want it too small because, or too thin, because it might crack, and you don't want it too big because then it will take longer to heat up. Okay, so this being said, we are complete. All we have to do now is just to put some air on the system. We're gonna take it up to 6 bars, and we're gonna leave it like that for 24 hours. We're gonna stick the stickers that you can see now to see all the circuits. So like I said, we're gonna put it to 6 bars. We're gonna leave it 24 hours, and then we're gonna drop the pressure to 2 bars or 1.5 2 bars, and we're gonna leave it like that till they obviously do the screed. So you don't want to have empty pipes when they put the screed. You want to have some kind of pressure. You want to have either air pressure or you want to have water. So you want to have the system pressurized when you're actually laying the sand and cement screed, or any screed or any latex you're gonna use on the pipes. Okay, so this will be everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. I think this was at least interesting. I'm very happy and very pleased with the job. The client is very pleased with the job. I think we did a great job. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.